What is going on, guys? Joey Franzel here at Flex Training Systems, and today we are not on stream. I'm just recording this video, and I'm going to throw it on top of some images, so you could just put this, put this audio on in the background, do whatever you got to do. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're working on the computer, whatever, and gain some knowledge. So, just like we used to do back in the old days. If you are one of those people that was watching my channel back in the day when I didn't do any, I was never on camera. It was always just images. Let me know in the comments below, the real OGs. Um, but anyway, today we're going to be talking about getting strong and perhaps making it easier on you. I'm going to talk about my squat, um, and I'm going to reveal something that maybe a lot of people didn't. Maybe they didn't think this, or they didn't understand that, or they didn't know that perhaps you don't need to endure as much pain on the quest for strength as you think. Especially, a lot of younger lifters, I think they can really benefit from a video like this. So here we go. Excuse me. Bit of a confession about my squat. So if I do recall correctly, I believe it was at 2018 Nationals. I squatted like 672-ish, 683-ish, something like that. And then a couple months later at the Arnold, I hit 744. Right? I eventually squatted 750. And to be honest with you guys, it was easy. I did not have to work that hard to do that. What are you talking about, Joey? What do you mean it was easy? Well, let me explain. During this time, I was in a mild caloric surplus. I was, just kind of eating to recover, not really like super trying to bulk, but not really trying to diet at all. My recovery is really, really good. The only energy expenditure I really had in my life was training. And, I would kind of go in the day, and you guys know me, I like my singles before my volume sets, right? And this was something that I just did this forever, like literally forever. And I only squatted low bar once a week. But my workout would consist of going in and taking a single, um, around a 7 to RPE 9 all the time, literally all the time. I did this for all of my preps, right? So if we're just going to talk about prep into nationals and then prep into Arnold, I don't know, maybe that's like 8 months, something like that. But I've been training this way for a very long time, guys, like super long time. And so I'll take my single. I wouldn't even write. I haven't written my own training. Me, Joey, I haven't written my training down since like 2016, maybe my first Arnold. I just stopped writing it down. Part of that's because I make so many trainings, but I kind of know where I need to be based on feel. Everything I do is by feel, and timing. It's like timing, spacing out from competition, and timing. And then just the experience I've learned, just coaching lifters, I've learned that I could pretty much prepare myself. I remember the first time I squatted 700 in the gym, I think I did like 3 weeks of eights, and then I did like 1 week of fives, and then triples, and 700 was the next week. So it was like super easy, very simple, 5 to 6 week block. And, I was able to get that first 700 out of the way. But, so I go in and hit my single, and then I would maybe have, regardless if I was doing 8s, 6s, 7s, 5s, whatever, I would have like 1 or 2 hard sets, right? I would have my top single, and then I would have like 1 hard set, and then I would have back downs after that. And my back downs were like astronomically lighter than, my first 2 sets. Let me give you an example. 700 for a single, and then 585 for 6 to 8 reps, and then I would do like 540 and then 495 for my last one. Or there would be days where I would go in and I would hit 6 something for my first volume set, and then maybe 500 for the next 2, right? So eventually you get to a point where you can kind of start to inch those back down sets up, and they're a lot easier. They're like similar difficulty. But then you could argue that I could have gone more maybe on my first back down set. But the point is, the reason why I'm telling you this is because I try to emphasize recovery and getting a couple sets in that really challenged me to tell my to kind of tell my body my whole philosophy behind what I was doing with my own training with me personally is like coming to the gym, challenge yourself, tell your body, hey, like you're not strong enough. This is difficult, right? Give your body a reason to get stronger, and then kind of reinforce that with your back down sets. And then later on in the week, when my high bar would come around, I would take it super light. I would do like, for someone that was squatting in the sevens, I would take like 405, 455. There were times when I would like, I would mess around. I would put on 500, hit it for a set of 12 or something just to be dumb. But I would not do that. If I knew that I had like, if I knew I had a big single coming up and I needed to be prepared for that. And my whole training philosophy for me personally is just like take what you have and let everything come to you. So if I feel good that day, then a PR might show up. I'm not going to force myself. I'm never ever 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 going to force myself to chase a PR or anything like that. And on the flip side, if I go into the gym and I would feel beat, like maybe I overdid it, maybe I'm like my third or fourth squat low bar workout into just consistently building, and then I go into the gym and I'm warming up and I'm like, wow, I'm really feeling it today. I'll completely change what I had in mind for the day, and I'll just take a deload that day, right? That's pretty much how I did it for myself. And I have no issue and I have no problem calling that audible, and I cannot stress how important it is to be able to do that. A lot of my OGs, the guys that have been with me for a long time, Mikey Davis, Russ, Keiko is really, really good at this. Some of my youngins too are starting to learn this. But essentially, you always want to know that no matter what is in front of you, no matter what you have written down, that you're essentially playing with fire after a certain point, and you never want to ever force yourself to do something, right? Unless it's like, you just don't feel like going to the gym and you're not motivated, but you know that training is something that you want for the long term, then yeah, you got to kind of you got to get to the gym, right? No matter what. So, um, I've really just been trying to emphasize to people if we can operate in a realm of quality, right? We're getting these good quality sets in 2 to 3 to 4 sets. Some people are going to need more than others. If you're smaller, you could probably tolerate a lot more than somebody like me. Um, but for most people, like recovery is going to be a big emphasis, right? That's why I'm so big on controlling those outside variables outside the gym, so you can get more out of your training. Um, but once you do those things, you're going to start to realize, wow, I'm making progress doing less work than I was. The tonnage, if we're just talking about like sets times reps times weight that I'm doing now is astronomically less than what I was doing, in the past. I used to squat 3 times a week. I used to do like I would have like almost 20 sets a week of squats, and I was doing like hella reps, right? But I was so beat up back then. I was like just something was always wrong with me, and I was young and I was just like this bull, and I just like couldn't. I would refuse to lower the weight. I just wouldn't lower the weight no matter how hard it got, and I would sit there and I would grind out like 4 reps in a row, right? Just literally just playing with fire. Um, and I mean, yeah, I got stronger, but I was also super beat up. And once I was in a caloric surplus, I started training, and really focusing on recovery, getting those couple quality sets in. You're still kind of like you still want to look at each workout like, okay, what did I hit last week? What am I hitting now? And try to increase that over time. Progressive overload, like you need to cause some sort of overload. You need to give your body a reason to get stronger. But you're doing it in a way where you can actually do less overall because you're getting that good quality in, and you're operating somewhat near, once a week, somewhat near your peak strength, somewhat. Not you're not maxing out or anything, but you're doing challenging work essentially over the weeks, and you're trying to increase that. And maybe you can't, going back to the beginning of the video, maybe you can't hit that 700 and that 600 for your top set, and then do it for 2 more sets. But eventually, those 500-pound back down sets, they get a little bit higher, and then they get a little bit higher, and you're like, wow, When I started this block, I did 700 for a single, 600 for my first back down, and 2 sets of 500. And then by the end of it, you're doing, 715 for a single, and then you're able to hit 600 and then 585 for your 2 back downs. So you've been able to get stronger, right? You didn't really add sets, you didn't do a crazy amount, more volume or anything like that, but you slowly kind of built your way up, to that. Another thing I wanted to briefly kind of touch on is, you guys know, I talked about it briefly in my story, but Johnny Candido made a video and he was talking about RPE caps, and the way that he said it was kind of like a catchy term, RPE cap, like, oh, what is that? What is that? Literally, somebody asked me, what is RPE cap? And it's just what the OGs have been doing all along. Like when you get in the gym, if you hit a set and the end of that set is a higher RPE than you think you need to be for the day, or if you exceed what's on paper, then you need to adjust your following sets, lower your weights down, and make sure that you're not doing that, because if you continue to overshoot, if you keep the weight the same, you're gonna snap up, or you're just gonna run yourself into the ground, and you're not gonna be able to really distribute that recovery. Your recovery demands over the week. You're gonna kind of focus it all on one day, right? I will never forget when I was, I remember we got this football coach when I first got into Pierce College. It's a community college over here down the street from me, and I remember I had this one strength and conditioning coach, and he told me to, instead of just going ham on bench on like Monday, what if I just did like sets of 6 on Monday and then sets of 4 on like Friday? And I told him, you're crazy. Like, I have so much energy after each workout, right? But what happened is I literally put like 50 pounds on my bench and I was like doing less work. The reason for that is you're distributing that, you're adding more work, right, in the week, but you're doing it in a way where you can handle more work. You're not just annihilating yourself. I think a lot of people, especially early on coming up, they're so used to thinking they need to be absolutely destroyed whenever they go into the gym, as opposed to just kind of spreading things up so you can get good quality work in, recover from that work, and then, make little improvements each time that you train. I have here in my notes the importance of recovery in easy days. Even on my bench press, there's times when I would go into the gym and I would literally bench 225. I would bench like 225, 275, and I can bench like 460. I bench 474 in a meet. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, wow, this guy benches like almost 500. Why is he doing like such easy, like literally 50%, 60%, whatever? Because on those middle days, I like to think of it as a way to stimulate a little bit of recovery, get some blood flow in, stay sharp, and you just feel so much better having those nice and light, easy days, kind of like how my high bar is in relation to my low bar, as opposed to only benching twice a week, right? You're getting more work in overall, but it's not super heavy to the point where you're going to wreck yourself. And I think in understanding that, and just switching your mindset to like, okay, the theme of today is to go light and get some good quality work in, right? And then you have your times when you need to really push it. It's just super important to identify that. I think a lot of young guys, especially with RPE, they go ham on every day. Every day of the week they're just going ham, and they don't really have a chance to let the recovery kind of catch up. So, I posted in my story the other day, if you're doing a set of 5, you're supposed to hit a set of 6, right? A set of 6, 7, whatever. And on your third or fourth rep, you're hitting like an RPE 8 or 9. It's probably a good idea to rack it right there, adjust the weight, and then, if you want to count that set, if you want to do a couple light extra reps at the end to kind of make up for it, just understand that, like, there's no point in getting into that red zone and continuing to push, past that, right? Even when I give people AMRAP sets, I never want them to fail. I always want them to stop just before, and I understand that if I do give them an AMRAP, that's going to tax them big time, and we're going to have to be smart about, what am I having them do after that point? I can't have them hit an AMRAP and then demand something of them, the next day or the day after. They're going to need some recovery from that. So kind of coming to a close here, if we can really just kind of understand that concept of emphasizing recovery, understanding what each day, like what are you trying to accomplish each day, And then kind of knowing the realm of flexibility, or just kind of knowing the space that you have to operate, I think we're going to be a lot better overall. So if I give somebody a program and I kind of empower them with the knowledge and the tools that they need to be malleable, be a little bit flexible, they're going to be so much better off than if I just give you a program and that's it, right? That's why I don't sell just like a program without coaching, because if you don't have the tools to make smart moves when the coach is literally not there with you, then it could be bad. It could end up really bad. You might overdo it. You might bite off more than you can chew. So it's just super important too. That's why like education is kind of an ongoing thing, when it comes to coaching and with lifters. And um, it's just repetition. You just got to practice it. You got to know when to pull back. You got to know when to listen. You got to understand when days. Okay, we're focusing on technique today. We're going light today. Today we're just getting a get some quick work in, then we're hitting some bodybuilding. Like, what is the goal of each day? How are you supposed to be feeling? And then just always listen to your body and never don't send it, right? Don't send it. Um, what else do we got? I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to talk about. I hope you guys are able to take something away from this. I just wanted to kind of talk about that. I know that when I say, oh, my squat was like super, it was easy for me to squat 750. I mean, it was. I mean, I'm not lying. I did one or two hard sets a week. The rest was just kind of reinforcing that. I didn't even really deadlift or anything. So that's like, I'm lacking hypertrophy work there if you want to think of it like that. But I did have more recovery to go towards my squat. If I really wanted to try, if I really wanted to, I would try to work myself up to 2 days a week of low bar and try to get maybe 3 to 4 hard sets in. But I mean, it all depends. It all depends. It depends on a lot of factors. Are you able to recover from it? That's a major thing. If you can't recover from that, then you kind of got to dial back, and you can really only make something of with what you have, right? You can't ask for more recovery when you don't have it. So anyway, I hope you guys are able to take something away from that. No music, not even me on camera, just like the old days. So comment whatever you guys want in the comments down below. And yeah, we leave the bunker on Friday, which is I think when this video is going up finally, after so much time in the bunker, and I'm excited to get back out there, start handling lifters and handle business. Anyway, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.